This is ABC7 News at 7, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
More people are feeling comfortable speaking to our officers and speaking up. You know, the adage is say something or see something, say something. You know, so it's a partnership between here at the police department and with our community.
Reaping the fruits of their labor, police in Sarasota and North Florida are seeing crime decline as much as 8%. They're giving the credit to community policing efforts, from making officers more visible through social media to fostering communication with the public. It's getting results. Good evening, everyone. I'm Alan Cohen, and welcome to ABC 7 at 7. We'll have more on what's causing crime to decline locally, but first, our top 7 stories at 7. And we begin in Bradenton, where a young boy is dead after police say his brother accidentally shot him. Dispatchers got a call reporting the shooting at the corner of 3rd Street West and 12th Avenue West around 1 p.m. Officers say it took place inside this house. Detectives say they are interviewing family members and witnesses, but at this point it appears to have been accidental. The young boy who was shot in the head was transported to Manatee Memorial, where he was pronounced dead. Neighbors are shocked.
Everybody needs to keep those weapons out of their reach, because they need to be safe. You don't want this to happen. You don't want this to happen to anybody.
And I just feel very heartbroken about that, about a sibling shooting another sibling. So I think it's very heartbreaking.
Police say this is a reminder to gun owners to keep their firearms in a secure place and out of the reach of children. A follow-up on a long-running legal battle between the city of Sarasota and the ACLU over homelessness. Today, a federal judge approving a settlement. Florida's ACLU filed the suit 2 years ago on behalf of 6 homeless individuals who were cited for sleeping outdoors when shelters were at capacity. The lawsuit also took issue with the city's panhandling ordinance, claiming it was unconstitutional and violated free speech. Sarasota City Manager Tom Barwin is releasing a statement saying the settlement brings to a close an unwarranted case by the ACLU. He also invited the organization to raise money in support of getting the homeless into housing. Years after it was designed, an affordable housing complex in Venice still has not been completed, and the city is blaming a lack of federal funding. 10 years ago, a low-income housing complex called Grove Terrace was torn down after being condemned. The plan was to build a two-phase complex for those who couldn't afford high rents. However, only one phase has been built, and it was limited to those age 62 and up. It would take $11.6 million to build the second phase, but the money would have to come through the Department of Housing and Urban Development, and it never came. It's distributed through a lottery system, and Venice has been continually passed over. The city manager says the delay is hurting young families the most.
Some have, unfortunately, have some income, but not enough to sustain themselves in what we would call a traditional lifestyle.
If Venice ever gets the federal funds, it would need to get an additional $650,000 to begin construction. The powerboat races are returning to Lido Beach next weekend, with 10,000 spectators expected to attend. Some worry it could cause lasting damage to an already fragile shoreline. In the past, visitors have trampled sand dunes, damaging vegetation, making the beach more susceptible to erosion. Now, community leaders are taking a proactive, step-by-step approach by putting signs up along the ropes to keep people off the dunes. Temporary fencing also is being put up for added protection.
The dune systems are really formed by wind-blown sand accumulating over many, many years. And really what holds that in place is the dune vegetation. So when people are walking across the dunes, they're actually killing off the vegetation.
Lido's Key Resident Association is looking for volunteers to direct visitors to the right pathways. If you're interested in helping, you can contact them directly or reach out to the county. Now to Bradenton, where residents near GT Bray Park are asking the county to crack down on softball tournaments. They say fly balls have caused thousands of dollars in property damage to homes. Signs were recently put up to deter people from hitting balls in the direction of the homes, but residents say that has not had much impact. The Parks Department is reviewing its budget, either to hire more staff or to put more buffers in place between the fields and nearby homes. A Suncoast educator is claiming a prestigious honor as State Principal of the Year. Florida's Department of Education naming Dr. Rachel Shelley of Booker High School as the top principal in Florida for 2017. Shelley's colleagues praising her for her dedication to helping students succeed and her relationship-based leadership.
There's not been a better principal to work under. There's not been a more successful principal to work under. I just feel that she brings everybody together. She gets us on the same page, gets us moving in the right direction, and it's something that we're seeing results with. We all work hard, but as I've said to many people, you know, I don't have a problem working hard if the person that I'm working for is actually working a lot harder than I am.
Shelley has worked in the Sarasota County School District since 1989. She graduated from Riverview High School, and a big congratulations to her. Now to the latest on what was Tropical Storm Cindy. It made landfall earlier this morning over western Louisiana near the Texas border. It has already dumped nearly a foot of rain from East Texas to the Florida Panhandle. Some Louisiana residents evacuating after floodwaters came dangerously close to their homes.
Thank God it wasn't no big old storm. That's the life we choose, you know. Our business is down here and our home's down here, and that's what it is. Rita took everything, I took everything.
The storm is blamed for the death of a 10-year-old boy who was hit by a log that washed up ashore in Alabama. Millions inland are bracing for flooding and even possible tornadoes. And Bob, at least the weather here is drying up just a bit.
It is, although we're getting a pretty good downpour right now up and down the coast. But we are looking at some drier conditions on Friday and Saturday. We'll get back to that in a minute. But here's a look at what's left of, again, Cindy, which is now just a tropical depression, and it continues to bring heavy rainfall and the potential for some tornadoes. The center is right there spinning in that counterclockwise fashion. That's going to continue through Arkansas and eventually through Tennessee, causing some problems there. But that tornado watch is in effect still through this evening, although the storms are starting to weaken somewhat. And for us, there it is. The line of showers continues to move through. The heaviest rain now with lightning into Venice and also right there near University and looks like 41. The heaviest storm I mentioned is right around the Venice area all the way up to Osprey, and this is going to continue to move off toward the west as a result again of the sea breeze interacting with the southeasterly wind flow. We have had quite a bit of rainfall now in Bradenton and Palmetto, and that is pushing off toward the west. So northwest Bradenton, look out, some showers along Lido and Longboat Key down to Siesta Key, and then the heaviest rain near Ellington along I-75 and State Road 64. Down to State Road 70. You see the general motion is off toward the west-northwest and moving pretty slowly right now. And taking a look at the evening planner, scattered showers through 9, and then we'll see 78 degrees by 11. The rain will have been moved out of here by then, and we'll look for less action tomorrow due to some drier air. That's going to move in for a couple of days only, and then we'll be back to that afternoon and evening pattern as early as Sunday, I think.
But at least the lawns are greener.
They are, and you got to cut them a lot more too now. That's right.
Thanks a lot, Bob. And still to come, taking a bite out of crime, whether it's having coffee with a cop or reaching out through social media, community policing is showing results. We'll show you what law enforcement has been doing differently in recent years and why it's driving down crime levels.
Hurricane season is here, and so is the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. This essential resource arms you with vital information you need to protect your family and property when severe weather threatens the Suncoast, including how to create your readiness plan and survival kit, shelter locations, what to do with pets, and important phone numbers. Visit mysuncoast.com and download the official Suncoast Hurricane Guide from ABC7. Brought to you by Batteries Plus, the Florida Lottery, and Sarasota Glass and Mirror.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope. and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
If you're depressed, drinking, and using drugs, you may need help. And the Affordable Care Act guarantees coverage of substance abuse. Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Are you losing hope? You can recover and get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven, gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call the Addiction, Hope, and Helpline now for a free assessment with someone who cares.
Call 1-800-764-8708. That's 1-800-764-8708.
A decade of war has taken an unprecedented toll on our men and women in uniform.
Hundreds of thousands of our veterans are suffering from the trauma of war.
At Justice for Vets, we believe that every veteran should have the opportunity for treatment and restoration.
Get involved and go to justiceforvets.org.
Help put treatment within reach of veterans in crisis.
Veterans fought for our freedom. Now it's our turn to fight for theirs.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
From Northport to Sarasota to Manatee County, crime is down. Tonight we are exploring why, but one of the reasons law enforcement agencies are attributing their success is to social media. ABC7's Christopher Brantley is here with more. Christopher.
Good evening, Alan. This is the annual report for the city of Northport, and in here you'll find violent and nonviolent crimes are down. And while there could be many reasons why, the police department believes it may have something to do with a big culture change within the department.
We've gotten to the point here in Northport that if we have your photo and you're from around here, we're going to recognize you.
That near promise is what authorities point to as being a huge crime deterrent. If you do something wrong, your face is likely to be spread out on social media.
And when it's somebody going, this is my neighbor, who doesn't surprise me, he would do something like this. That's what you go, man, what a great tool.
Josh Taylor, Northport's public information officer, started this wide-ranging social media campaign 2 years ago. Since then, social media followers have exploded, and today they have over 18,000 Facebook followers. And that's believed to be a big factor in drawing crime down. Violent crimes are down 8%. Nonviolent crimes down 4% over the last 3-year average.
We've had more than 50 cases that we can immediately attribute to tips which have come in through social media.
Not to be outdone, the Sarasota Police Department is also very active online. Over 22,000 people follow the department on Facebook.
Over the last 4 years, we've seen a huge increase in our social media presence, and we attribute that not only to our officers but also to our community.
The department won't directly correlate a drop in crime with social media, but crime has been down every year for the last 5 years, a 7% drop between 2015 and 2016.
More people are feeling comfortable speaking to our officers and speaking up. You know, the adage is see something, say something. You know, so it's a partnership between here at the police department and with our community.
For both Northport and Sarasota Police, it's all about community policing. So when social media hasn't worked, they've had to get creative. Just a few weeks ago, Northport authorities set up a barbecue outside a home they say had been a problem.
That was amazing. Because the fact that they set up something that couldn't be dismantled like that, the fact that they weren't just parked somewhere.
Neighbors complained for months about suspicious activity. The barbecue made clear to the homeowners they're being watched closely. Assistant Police Chief Mike Pelfrey.
We can't be every place all the time, but those folks who live in the neighborhood know who's supposed to be at the house, what cars come and go, the hours of operation.
That boldness has also had another effect. In Northport, resisting arrest is also down. Of the 37,550 documented contacts police had during 2016, 51 resisted arrest.
If somebody resists us, then we have to document what force we use to take them into custody.
That documentation shows a practice of de-escalation that could mean using their hands to subdue someone, as they did 39 times, or using a taser, as they did 10 times. Only once in 2016 were they forced to release a canine or use pepper spray.
I had one that was basically a pressure point. It's a very minor pressure point where I was able to gain control of the subject and place him in the back of the car.
Both the Northport Police Department and the Sarasota Police Department have won awards for their active use of social media and community policing.
Christopher, thank you. Northport isn't the only Suncoast agency using community policing. We'll speak with Sarasota's chief, Northport's assistant chief, and the criminology professor in a moment, because we are taking it to the trapezoid.
Save big during the 4th of July clearance and pay no interest for 48 months with same-day pickup or next-day delivery. This special purchase double reclining sofa for only $4.99. This special purchase white Florida bedroom for $5.99 and the matching nightstand is free. This special purchase Serta Perfect Sleeper Queen set for $3.99. Exclusively at the Furniture Warehouse in Sarasota, Bradenton, Venice-Port, Charlotte, and Ellington.
And save big. Are you suffering from chronic back or arthritis pain that keeps you from enjoying everyday life? Are you currently covered by Medicare or private PPO insurance plans such as United Healthcare, Humana, Care Improvement Plus, or Blue Cross Blue Shield? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving supporting back brace at little or no cost to you. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, sciatica, bulging or herniated discs, and other painful conditions that make it difficult to perform everyday tasks. For a free check of your back brace eligibility, call the Alliance Back Brace Center today. When you qualify, our professional, friendly staff will deal directly with Medicare or private insurance for free, so you don't have to. Plus, we deliver directly to your home for free. It's that simple. Will you qualify for a Medicare or private insurance covered back brace today? There's only one way to find out.
Call the Alliance Back Brace Center at 800-219-2513. That's 800-219-2513.
You studied hard, went to college, and achieved your dream, but it turned into a financial nightmare. If you have federal student loans and you'd like to reduce your payments, get more time, or have your loans completely eliminated, then we have good news. With one call to Student Loan Relief Services, you can find support and guidance. We've already helped thousands of people, and we can help you too. If you have $10,000 or more in federal student loans, you can qualify for payment extensions, payment reductions, or you may qualify to have your federal student loan completely forgiven. Call Student Loan Relief Services now to find out about your options. Take control of your finances and get out from under this burden. One of our student loan experts has the answers to your questions and great solutions to ease your financial burden. We're here for you. Call Student Loan Relief Services now.
Call 800-759-0203, 800-759-0203.
Welcome back. All too often we turn on the news or read the newspaper about the latest murder, assault, or burglary. The reality is, in many communities on the Suncoast, crime is actually down. As Christopher Brantley just reported, according to the latest figures, violent crime in Northport, one of the fastest growing communities on the Suncoast, is down 8%. In Sarasota, it's down 7%. Why? Is it great policing, a steady improving economy? Or could it be new tools in the toolbox helping police communicate better with the community? And joining us for more on what's affecting crime levels is Chief Bernadette DePino of the Sarasota Police Department, Assistant Chief Mike Pelfrey of the Northport Police Department, and Dr. James Univer, a criminology professor at the University of South Florida, Sarasota, Manatee. Thank you all for joining us. But Chief, I want to congratulate the Police Department on renewing its accreditation. I know it's been a long issue, but you got it done, and I'm sure that you have a lot of pride in that.
We're very proud, and we passed with 100% and got a glowing report, so we're very happy that we earned our accreditation status.
That's fantastic. You know, it seems with these numbers, I don't know if they're uniform from community to community, but down 8% in terms of violent crime in Northport and 7% in Sarasota. What do both of you account for in terms of why? Is it just community policing and the use of social media?
It's a combination of both. I think it's a collaboration between the community. It's a good partnership, gaining trust. We have our citizens calling in posting on Facebook, Twitter with Josh Taylor daily. And I think it's a multitude of things that are happening down there.
You know, it is incredible what Josh has put into place down there. And in Sarasota, Chief, we were given some information earlier. In May 2013, you had 140 followers on Twitter, 328 likes on Facebook, YouTube, 23 subscribers. Today, you have 26,000 followers on Twitter, 22,000 on Facebook, 616 on YouTube. I mean, that's just a dramatic difference, and you see the result of it.
Absolutely. Genevieve Judge has done a fantastic job with social media, and that really is a progressive, modern way of engaging with the community, especially with younger people within our community who depend on and utilize social media to be able to connect with, whether it's their law enforcement agency, to get their news, to get information, to share information. We use social media because it's really a good tool to help us. And it also builds up that trust with the community that community policing also does, because that helps us to engage with citizens that we can't possibly reach out to, because we only have so many police officers. But when you engage with them on social media, you can reach 22,000 people in one tweet or one post on Facebook.
Professor, does that tell the whole story? Because we printed out some statewide totals, and total around the state, crime is down about 6%. In terms of violent crime, down 9.6%. I mean, is it possible that every community in Florida is using the same kind of new strategies?
Well, it's not just Florida. It's a nationwide phenomenon. We are now at one of the historical lows of all time in terms of recorded data on crime. And so the question is, why is this happening across states, across counties, within communities? There's something, if you wish, larger, more structural that's causing these decreasing rates of crime.
I want to dive into that. We're going to have to wait to the next segment because, you know, obviously I was curious about whether or not the strength of the economy has anything to do with that. Whether you have a better economy, does crime go down? Is that a major factor?
Not in the research that I've read.
That's interesting. All right, we're going to pick up this conversation. It is just getting started, but first we are going to check on the weather.
It's Lincoln's summer sales event here at Alex Karras Lincoln. Drive a brand new 2017 Lincoln MKC Sports Utility for $249 per month or 2017 MKZ for $299 per month. We are proud to introduce the newest addition to the Lincoln lineup, the all-new 2017 Lincoln Continental. We have a great selection and ready for immediate delivery. Alex Karras Lincoln, affordable luxury, winner of the prestigious 2015 President's Award, serving Florida's Suncoast since 1978. We are located 2 miles north of the Sarasota-Bradenton Airport on US 41.
Are you Goodwill?
Yes, because when I donate
or shop at Goodwill,
I am creating a job. I am Goodwill, yeah.
This is an important medical announcement. Bard IVC filters have been linked to punctured veins and problems with migration. Anyone who's received a Bard IVC filter must receive medical monitoring and may be entitled to substantial compensation. If you have the Bard Recovery G2 or G2 Express filter, you are in a class of patients who should be compensated for some expenses. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. This call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to people who should have been warned about the risks of the Bard IVC filters. Call the IVC Filter Hotline if you or a loved one has received an IVC filter and experienced a vein puncture or required medical monitoring. You must call now.
Call 800-329-3089. 800-329-3089.
When my youngest, Addie, was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia. When we first heard that diagnosis, you feel extremely alone. Walking in that Light the Night light with 6,000 people carrying lights, white for survivors, red for supporters, gold in memory of those who have passed. It's the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's hope that every year there are fewer gold lanterns. Your lantern will make a difference.
Start a team, join a team.
Help us light the night.
tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
I'm Stephanie Roberts on Suncoast View. The show is definitely going to the dogs as we celebrate Take Your Dog to Work Day, plus learning to paint fire and light and gyres in the kitchen.
Tomorrow at 4 on Suncoast View.
Our discussion of law enforcement techniques lowering crime continues in a moment, but right now let's get a check on our forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob.
Well, a line of showers moved in, and you'll watch this on Lakewood Ranch webcam, the review. Partly cloudy skies throughout the afternoon, and then the sea breeze developed. That, with combination meeting the southeast wind that has been over the state, caused a pretty heavy downpour there right around 6:30. You can see the rain coming down, a few lightning strikes there, and then quickly as it came in, it moved out, and now it's along the coast, bringing some showers up and down west central Florida. Well, Cindy has made its landfall early this morning into southwestern portions of Louisiana. Brought with it some strong gusty winds, a few tornadoes, and some very heavy rainfall that's weakening. We look for a little bit hotter and drier air to move in on Friday, so fewer storms, but the storms will be back in full effect, I think, by Monday of next week and stick around throughout much of the week. So look out for the lightning strikes that will be around once again, but a little bit less action tomorrow. Here's the latest on Cindy losing strength. Top winds are at 25. It's going to continue on this northeasterly course, bringing rainfall into Tennessee, stretching all the way out into the New Jersey area by about 5 days from now. Elsewhere in the tropics, all is quiet, so good news on that front, although this looks rather impressive down there south of Cuba and west of Jamaica. This is an upper level low, which continues to spin off to the west, so not a factor. All is quiet now in the tropics as Cindy has made landfall, still bringing some heavy rainfall into Louisiana, Arkansas, and Mississippi right now. There's still a tornado watch, a very small one, in effect for parts of Alabama and the northwestern portion of Florida. Well, there's that line of showers and storms. It's pushing out into the Gulf. It is weakening, although we still have light rain falling from Inglewood northward to Sarasota, Lakewood Ranch, all the way up into Braden and Palmetto is where the heaviest rainfall is right now. Still a few lightning strikes there. You can see that. And all the way to northwest Braden and looks like Holmes Beach. And we'll see a few showers here in the next half hour or so, and we could see some lightning strikes. But once we get rid of this, by 8, 9 o'clock, it should be all done for us. And then we'll see partly cloudy skies by 11 o'clock tonight, and low temperatures down into the low 70s for the most part, mid 70s near the area beaches. 78 now. It's cooled after temperatures were in the low 90s today. So that nice Mother Nature's air conditioner, we call it, moved in and brought some cooler temperatures up and down the coast. For boaters tomorrow, winds out of the southeast, switching around to the southwest, 10 to 15 knots. So still a bit of a breeze out there. Seas running 2 to 3 feet. Boating for the weekend looks to be pretty good, though. We'll have a light chop in the bays and inland waters. Low tide upcoming in just about 30 seconds from now. And the forecast for the next 7 days looks like this. Better chances for showers and storms, especially to start the work week next week. Pretty good weekend ahead. Alan will be back with the guests right after this. Stick around.
Attention blood clot filter patients. Surgically implanted blood clot filters are potentially life-threatening. Some filters are prone to breaking, resulting in pieces of the filter moving through the body and causing internal bleeding. If you had surgery to implant a blood clot filter, you may be entitled to a cash award, even if you haven't suffered side effects yet. Call the Gold Shield Group now, 888-747-5291, to see if you qualify for a cash award, 888-747-5291.
This is an important announcement. If you're between 50 and 85 and worried about your loved ones, you can still get affordable life insurance for peace of mind.
My life insurance coverage is guaranteed, and I was not required to get a medical exam.
I had high blood pressure and diabetes, and I got my coverage with one telephone call. No exam necessary.
I'm a smoker, and I wanted to take care of my family. I called to get my life insurance and my affairs in order. I wanted to do the right thing.
Call Final Expense No Exam Insurance. Your rates are guaranteed and will never increase.
I called and learned that this insurance cannot be canceled even if you get sick or gain weight.
And there are no restrictions on how my beneficiaries use the money when I'm gone.
Approval was easy and the price was right. I wanted to do this for my children.
Call 800-738-9812. 800-738-9812.
designers do it with style.
Tell me what's going on here, because
Why, you don't like my hair? The Mark and Mandy Show. In-depth design ideas.
What is up with the tuck tape here? Let's cover it up.
Amazing beauty and fashion tips.
So Halle Berry has amazing skin. Her secret is coffee grounds.
No.
Delicious recipes.
Today, I'm going to show you a special dish that is sure to please that special someone in your life.
Watch the Mark and Mandy Show right here on your favorite channel.
It's fine that other people like you. It's more important that you like yourself. And I'm comfortable with every part of me. Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound assures me that I'm not forgotten. They care that I'm okay. My name is Asha Ida Bell. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
Welcome back. If you're just joining us, we are discussing a decline in crime on the Suncoast. A report by the Northport Police Department shows crime has gone down about 8% in a year. What's causing it to drop? Our guests tonight are Chief Bernadette DePino of the Sarasota Police Department, Assistant Chief Mike Pelfrey of the Northport Police Department, and Dr. James Univer, Professor of Criminology at USF Sarasota Manatee. A lot of, kudos to our local police departments, but Professor, you say that this is happening around the country, and why?
Well, once again, we are at historical lows. And what's interesting also is that when the public opinions come out, people believe crime is increasing.
Because of what we see on television with all these incidents around the country.
If it bleeds, it leads is kind of keeps that amped up. But actually what the research shows is the #1 cause for why we are now in this historical low. We had an incredible high rate of crime in the early 1990s, late 1980s. And it's essentially what the argument is that the cause for the spike of crime was the introduction of cocaine and crack cocaine into the marketplace, and if you wish, an unregulated marketplace. And then what happened over time is that the crack cocaine market matured. And as the crack cocaine market matured, all the associated violence with it declined as well. So basically what the argument is that the cause for this incredible rate of decrease in the crime is largely attributed to the maturation of the drug markets.
Right. But that drug market may have matured, but we have other drug markets now which have exploded, including the opioid market. And before the opioid market really blew up, it was the pill mills. Don't those forms of drug abuse also create crime?
Well, they do, absolutely. Look, drugs relate to most crimes. If you look at robberies, burglaries, thefts, assaults, those most violent crimes are all associated with drugs, and that's why law enforcement targets drug dealers, and it also looks at helping people that are addicted to drugs and also providing education for people before they get involved with drugs with programs like DARE, but also school resource officers. Most people think community policing is just this, let's be nice and have partnerships with the community and the public and build trust and relationships, and it is, but it's also problem solving, and it's also looking at the underlying conditions as to why crimes take place and then coming up with creative solutions. As we talked on the break, is sometimes planting a thorn rose bush in an area where criminals hang out is a deterrent, and the criminals won't go there. So you look at environmental design, you look at alternatives like deferment programs like we do here in the city with our Tyler program. So instead of arresting prostitutes, we are then taking them off the street and helping rehabilitate them, get them into help and resources, and also knowing that most of them are victims of human trafficking, and we partner with like Sale of Freedom. So you have to look at those underlying conditions.
But two questions here. In the early 90s, when crime was that high, I remember President Clinton had that big program in terms of hiring more police officers, and that was almost a short-term federal funding approach to that. But Chief Pelfrey, is there a difference between the drug issue with opioids and before that pills as opposed to crack cocaine?
When you clamp down on the pill mills, the people are already addicted to painkillers. So once you clamp down on that, something else has to
and that
come
was the
up.
Opioids.
Exactly. And unfortunately, opioids coming into this country. I know 20 years ago, heroin was almost unheard of, and cocaine was on the market. Now it's the reverse. I think cocaine is now very, very expensive, and heroin is now less expensive than cocaine was ever.
But Professor, why, with the opioid epidemic, which is so serious around here, why is that not associated with the same kind of crime level as crack cocaine?
Well, I mean, the properties of the drug itself could contribute to that. Crack has a very short-lasting period of time with an urgency to get more as soon as it wears off. You get very anxious and you're looking for more instantly almost. And also the crack that came in was mostly concentrated in our inner city core areas, where with the pill mills and the opioids, et cetera, my sense of it is, though there's not a whole lot of research on this topic yet, is that it's a much more diverse market. There's multiple places. I would imagine someone that's addicted to, let's say, oxys can find those drugs in a variety of different places rather than having to drive into one specific area, which also is gang affiliated.
Let me ask you all this, because Christopher's story, and we started talking about the importance of social media and how that's affected crime. Are police departments around the country doing this? I know one former journalist who I used to work with up in Tampa, she became a spokesperson for the Tampa Police Department and then started her own business consulting to police departments all around the country on the importance and the use of social media. Is this happening everywhere with similar results?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I'm active with the International Association of Chiefs of Police, and they actually put training sessions on about it. And I follow many of their chiefs. They're on Twitter, Facebook. They have Instagram, YouTube. Law enforcement agencies that are progressive, that are modern, that know that they need to do that outreach are going to use social media. They have to in order to do a reach to people that they may not be able to reach any other way.
And Chief Pelfrey, you said in Christopher's story that if your name or your picture pops up on Facebook, somebody in town knows you. But in larger communities, I mean, is that always the case?
Maybe not. But I know in Northport, we have such a following, and I just checked it before coming on the air, 18,691 followers to Facebook. And it's a considerable number of households that have Facebook in the city of Northport or the surrounding areas who contribute to this. And once Josh posts something on there, we're going to ID you. We're going to be after you. And I think another thing is technology. I think we're a lot of the houses now, and we're finding a lot more cameras that are available around the neighborhoods. I may not have cameras on my house, but the guy down the street has cameras. So we can capture that information and intelligence and share it. It's much more affordable now. It really is. And the use of technology, Facebook, Twitter, news media. Christopher Brantley's down at our office a lot.
Usually it's for reporting the news.
Oh yeah. He is. And our information sharing with the other agencies. The chief shares information. We share information.
We have less than a minute left, but Professor, I wanted to ask you, there's a difference between perception and what the reality is. We see every day these terrible incidents around the country with police shootings, which really happen very infrequently, but often enough that that's what makes news. What kind of impact does that have on local police departments in terms of their ability to have good relationships with their communities?
There's a tremendously interesting study that was just done in Milwaukee because they had a high-profile young black man shot. And in fact, I think the police officer was just acquitted this weekend. After that, the number of calls to the police from the black communities decreased, so that the racial tensions obviously impact the ability for police to be effective, and they have to respond to calls, but they have to get the call to respond to.
Right. All right, let's take a quick break, and when we return, we'll have final thoughts from our guests, plus what some of our viewers are saying about last night's topic, unsolved crimes in Palmetto.
If you're only hungry for a slice of apple pie, why buy the whole pie? And you certainly wouldn't want to pay for an all-you-can-eat buffet. So if you don't use your cell phone that much, why get charged for a plan that's too big or even an unlimited plan? Luckily, there's still a wireless company that shares your values. Welcome to Consumer Cellular. Our average customer pays about $25 a month for everything they need. Many pay even less, as plans start at just $10 a month. You'll get a straightforward bill that's easy to understand, with no surprises, and all the attention you deserve from our friendly customer service team. No wonder Consumer Cellular has received J.D. Power Awards for highest customer service. Plus, if you're an AARP member, you'll receive special discounts. It's easy to switch. You can even keep your phone and your number. So stop paying for more than you need and start your 30-day risk-free trial today. Call 800-457-2317, go online, or visit a Target store today.
Credit card debt can ruin your life. If you owe $10,000 and minimum payments are siphoning away your paycheck each month, you can get debt-free in less time than you think.
I've paid $800 a month for the past 3 years and haven't changed the balance on my credit card.
Get debt-free now has a program to reduce your debt, stop the harassing phone calls, avoid financial ruin, and settle for less than you owe.
I feel like a huge weight has been lifted off my shoulders.
You're pre-approved for our special hardship program if you owe $10,000 or more. Upon payment of your new lower balance, your debt will finally shrink until you are debt-free.
My family no longer has 30 years of payments ahead of us at 20% interest.
There's no fees until you see results. So call now, make one monthly program payment, and free up your cash. Resolve your debt.
Call 800-685-6422, 800-685-6422.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blog, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast restaurant guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Welcome back. It appears community policing and innovative techniques by law enforcement is bringing down crime levels across the Suncoast. How long could we see crime rates go down? And could we be doing more to make the community safer? Our guests join us right now for final thoughts. And Chief, let me put that to you. You know, you've had a good year. Where do you go from here? I mean, is it increasing the use of social media? Is there anything more you can be doing in terms of community policing that you're not yet doing?
There's a lot. We are going to continue to use community policing, which our city manager likes to call partnership policing, and we embrace that because we need to outreach more to people within our community to build up those trust and relationships. Use our social media in order to market our agency, and that marketing helps people see the police department from a little different perspective than maybe they normally do. They see us saving turtles or saving a puppy dog, but then also seeing crime stories and also being able to be good witnesses for us when they see us post a video or a photograph of a suspect.
Chief Pelfrey, is there a flip side to the helpfulness of social media? Because there are, as we discussed in our break, there are groups out there who are using social media to rev up trouble.
Certainly. There are groups who use Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter to get their information out quickly to their membership. And there is a downside to social media.
And you can't monitor that all the time.
Not all the time. But we can capture some of the intelligence. We can capture some of that and put it together. It's a puzzle sometimes.
Professor, where do you see this going in the short term in terms of crime rates, not only here on the Suncoast but around Florida?
Well, it should continue to stabilize or go further, have a further decrease if the drug markets basically settle down. I think that's one of the real keys. The research also, but the only one of the other problems is that right now about 10,000 inmates are being released every week and 650,000 a year. So you have all these people from the, the Bush era and the Clinton era where they were locking them away on long mandatory sentences. These people get released.
Thank you for giving us our next topic. We'll have to get to it on another night. Thank you all for joining us. But before we go, we want to share with you what some of our viewers are saying about last night's topic, the backlog of unsolved homicides in Palmetto. This city is one of the smallest on the Suncoast with around 12,000 full-time residents. However, only one homicide detective. There are many cases still open years after they took place. We asked what you thought you could help solve them and bring resolution to the families of the victims. John Forehand writes, maybe PPD should hire another detective for starters and look into seeing if other local law enforcement agencies could help. Zany Arias writes, one homicide detective serving all of Palmetto, which is an area that most locals associate with crime, is absolutely ridiculous. And Lisa Thompson writes, I watch enough investigation discovery, I could probably help solve some of those crimes. Go at it. Well, what do you think about community policing stats and showing crime that is down? Is it what you're seeing? Join the conversation on tonight's topic by visiting our Facebook page at facebook.com/news@7. And FYI, you can watch past discussions on demand. They're available on Apple TV, Amazon Fire, and Roku. Thanks to our guests for being here tonight. Chief Bernadette DePino is the chief of the Sarasota Police Department. Mike Pelfrey is the assistant chief at the Northport Police Department. And Dr. James Univer is a professor of criminology at the University of South Florida, Sarasota, Manatee. When we return, we'll have a final look at your weather, plus a ruling on Pizzagate. Remember when a man fired an assault rifle inside the Washington, D.C. pizza parlor? He said he was investigating a Democratic child sex ring conspiracy. We'll show you now how a judge is saying you're going to prison. We'll have the details in our primetime headlines.
Slaughter my prey. 2,000 cash, I'll be rolling in dough. So hey, you big monster, come out from below. So hey, you big monster, come out from below.
Attention, Americans eligible for Medicare. Are you getting all the benefits you're entitled to? Did you know there may be money available to lower your medical prescription costs? Call Health Markets and we'll tell you if you qualify.
Hi, I'm Dr. Martin Jeetzy. It's a new Medicare year. That means more changes and more confusion. The key question is, what can you do now to ensure you get the care you need in the coming year?
Call Health Markets today. You may qualify to save money on prescriptions. We'll help you find plans that may cost less, cover more, and could even lower your prescription costs to increase your savings. We help you find all the benefits you're entitled to, and we do it at no cost.
Make sure you have what you need to get the care that's right for you.
Find out if you qualify to receive extra help with your prescriptions. Call the number on the screen now. Representatives are standing by.
Florida's coral reefs are declining. Bad news for our oceans and marine life. Fortunately, you can help, and you don't have to dive, you just have to drive. When you purchase Moat's Protect Our Reefs license plate, $25 goes directly to Moat Marine Laboratory, whose research, restoration, and conservation programs are helping this precious natural resource thrive once again. So get your Moat Protect Our Reefs license plate today. You just might hold the key to saving Florida's reefs.
Your primetime headlines are coming up in a moment, but right now let's get a final check on our forecast from Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan.
Thanks, Alan. Well, some showers and a few thunderstorms making their way through the Suncoast this evening, cooling things down quite nicely after highs today were in the low 90s and the feels like temperature 100 to 105 degrees this afternoon. That has all changed as Mother Nature's air conditioner has really piled on in, bringing some moderate to heavy rainfall at times and occasional lightning strikes. And the weather headlines read like this. Things are starting to get back to normal, at least a little bit more normal in the Gulf of Mexico. Cindy is weakening. Hot and drier air for us on Friday, so not as much activity as we've seen today. And it looks like the afternoon and evening storms will be back, though, with a vengeance next week, all the way through it, with showers and storms in the forecast. Tropical depression Cindy now, as it brought some heavy rainfall and also tornadic activity from Florida all the way over to Texas, and now that is going to continue to move off toward the east-northeast in time, and looks like it will weaken even more so. The winds are down to 25 miles an hour. You can see the rotation and spin right there it is, right over the northwestern portion of Louisiana tonight, with the heaviest rainfall occurring in Louisiana, although there are still some showers and the potential for some tornadoes in the southern sections of Alabama. Well, that line of showers continues to work its way off to the west. It is weakening, not as much rainfall around from Inglewood, some moderate rainfall up near Venice, and then stretching toward Osprey and near Lakewood Ranch, some light rain. Now it is moving off into the Gulf of Mexico as far as the heavy weather goes. Look for a few more evening showers winding down here by 9 o'clock, and then things improving considerably. This is the tower cam, but the heat index now at 81 degrees, so things have cooled off considerably as a result of temperatures cooling down with the afternoon showers and storms. Now, we had them here along the coast, but we didn't in the inland areas. 90 in Sebring, it's 90 in Avon Park, 87-degree water temperature. That's really heating up. And the forecast for tomorrow looks a little drier. A few showers, rain chance at 20% for a late-day storm, not much. Saturday, pretty much the same story. As we look into time here, things are calming down quite nicely this evening. Well, for boaters, it's still a bit breezy out there. Seas running 2 to 3 feet. And a light to moderate chop, so a lot better water conditions. Water temperature heating up, 87 degrees, and the UV index will be high. Sunset 8:28 and sunrise will be at 6:37. The forecast, partly cloudy, showers winding down here soon. Warm and muggy, 76 for your low. And then tomorrow, look for only a 20% chance for a passing shower. Hot and humid. Southeast winds turn to the southwest. The extended forecast does call for a better chance for showers and storms as we push on into the early part of next week, Monday through Thursday. That rain chance staying elevated. Al will be back with primetime headlines right after this. Stick around.
What's a nice Jewish girl to do when she can't introduce her WASP boyfriend to her conservative parents? Hire an actor. Hilarious and insightful, Bo Jest is at the Players Center June 14th through the 25th. And it's your ticket to a sizzling summer. Call the Players at 365-2494 or visit theplayers.org. Don't miss Bo Jest.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-747-0618. 800-747-0618.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has answered calls for recovery and treatment 24/7, 365 days a year. If you're depressed, drinking, using drugs, or taking pills, call now and talk to someone who cares.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Most insurance covers substance abuse. You can get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call 800-622-1941. 800-622-1941.
Now for your primetime headlines. Protests erupted on Capitol Hill over the new Senate GOP health care bill. The plan was unveiled today, but it may be dead on arrival. Several Republican senators don't like it, joining Democrats who are angry about the bill being drafted behind closed doors. ABC's Kenneth Moten has the latest from Washington.
Capitol Hill protest over the newly revealed Senate GOP health care plan. Capitol Police dragging demonstrators. Even blood was drawn in the struggle to remove protesters, many in wheelchairs, from the entrance of Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell's office. McConnell on the Senate floor at the time.
Obamacare is a direct attack on the middle class.
The Senate plan to overhaul the Affordable Care Act eliminates Obamacare's mandate for Americans to have insurance, allows states to apply for waivers to opt out of covering essential health benefits like maternity and drug abuse care, but protects coverage of pre-existing conditions, eventually calls for deeper cuts to Medicaid, and defunds Planned Parenthood and restricts abortion coverage. President Trump looking ahead to negotiations.
We'd love to have some Democrat support, but they're obstructionists. They'll never support. We won't get one, no matter how good it is.
Democrats jumping on Trump's comment that the House version of the bill was, quote, mean. The Senate plan they call meaner.
This is a nasty bill, and they're trying to cover it up with little things here and there.
If the bill passes, it's back to the House.
So sad, Mr. President. Heartless, mean and heartless. And this is the same thing. It's the same thing all over again.
I want them to pass the bill so we can all get on with keeping our promise.
And at this point, Republicans do not have the votes to get this bill passed. They can only lose 2 votes, but several GOP senators have already come out against the plan. Kenneth Moten, ABC News, Washington.
President Trump says he did not make and doesn't have any recordings of his private conversations with fired FBI Director James Comey. Of course, the president made the announcement by tweet, also tweeting he has no idea whether other tapes exist. Trump disputed Comey's assertion that he asked for a pledge of loyalty during a dinner meeting. Under a post-Watergate law, presidential recordings can eventually be made public. Destroying them would be a crime. Today, the American college student held in North Korean prison for more than a year was laid to rest. Otto Warmbier died earlier this week after he was returned to his family in Ohio. Thousands gathered to celebrate his life. The death of the high-achieving University of Virginia student sending shockwaves throughout 2 tight-knit communities. Those who knew him remembering him as a young man full of promise.
He was just a great role model for everybody in the way he carried himself on and off the field.
He was a consummate team player, always cared more about the results of how everyone else was doing other than himself.
Warmbier's death is also raising red flags about Americans traveling to hostile nations. The company that organized his trip now telling ABC News they will no longer provide tours to North Korea. A follow-up on the man who opened fire inside a Washington, D.C. pizza place because of a conspiracy theory. Edgar Madison Welch is being sentenced to 4 years in prison for firing an assault weapon inside the Comet Ping Pong restaurant in December. At the time, it was said he was investigating a conspiracy theory about Democrats harboring child sex slaves in the restaurant. No one was injured, but the judge says Welch's actions, quote, literally left a psychological wreckage. Florida Supreme Court is ruling against an independent police review panel, saying it doesn't have the authority to subpoena officers. Today's ruling says state law only allows investigators the right to interview officers. Essentially, officers can't be forced to testify during complaint reviews. The case came before the court because of a Miami police lieutenant challenged a subpoena to appear before a review panel. The police department already had reviewed the complaint against the officer and decided not to take disciplinary action. And that's all the time we have for this evening. I'm Alan Cohn. Thanks for joining us. Have a great night.